Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you know, NXT has entered its fallout after Vengeance Day, but the real question is, where do we go from here? Who do we expect to get, of course, rematches for titles that they lost in Vengeance Days, or feuds that, as you know, they surpass what they are expecting? Well, we'll just have to find out and see. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing, of course, the latest ChocoPro shows, number 405, no, 504, my bad, and 506. This is the much recent shows. Now, 505, of course, is their big show in the Tokyo Square in Itabashi, featuring, of course, three titles on the line: the DPW Women's World Title, and of course, we have the Asian Dream Tag Team belts and the Super Asia Championship on the line. And then, of course, we have their event back in Ichigai Square for 506, featuring many talents. So I can't wait to see how things will turn out from that. But as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us to click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, as I said before, we got ChocoPro with their much recent shows. They were, of course, part of last month near the end. So let's get to it. So let's begin with 505. Okay, ChocoPro number 505, dubbed as Choco Museum, and this happened, of course, on the 25th of February. And this is one of their last shows that took place, of course, for last month in February. But it's one of their big shows that took place in Tokyo at the Tokyo Square in Itabashi. Now, we opened up with 6-woman tag team match. We have Soy, Kaho Hirumi, and Iri Kani taking on Tokiko Kihara, Sayaka, and Coyote Yonayama. Now, obviously, if you look at team number one, Soy, Kaho, and Kane, as you can tell that they have a bit of least experience, but they do bring in something to the table. But you do have wrestlers who do have the necessary experience. I mean, Tokiko has a fantastic striking and submission technique in her 50s. Sayaka, who I've seen grown so much, becoming very, very impressive. And of course, Coyote Onoyama, a well recognized Yoshi wrestler who's been around for who knows how long, but she is definitely one of those wrestlers you would definitely think she'll pick up the win. But in the end, it was Soy who picked up the win when she applied a spear on Tokiko, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Next up, we have, of course, the guys from Chile, Arnico Montana and Gene Bravo. Yeah, if you guys don't know, these two guys are from the country of Chile, and they faced, of course, now calling themselves the Best Buds, consistent of Chris Brooks and Balanaki. Now, of course, many of you probably wondering, hey, wait. Then these guys didn't like each other? Well, yeah, technically they have, but things have not been the same for Chris ever since Masahiro Takanashi got hurt. But we don't know when he'll be back. We know he is probably recovering or whatever scenario. But it seems that things are going well for these guys as a tag team. And that's exactly what they did. But it was Chris Brooks who picked up the win. We applied that submission onto Gene Bravo. And just like that, Bravo had no choice but to tap out. Next up, we have singles action. Miya Yatsuba versus Emi Sakura. Now, obviously, we know Emi Sakura basically, as you know, well-recognized Yoshi wrestler, but she's also responsible to training at least a lot of wrestlers, like, of course, our very first AEW Women's World Champion, Riho, and not to mention three-time champion Hikaru Shida, of course, Tsukasa Fujimoto, Mochi Natsumi, and various others, including Mei Shiruga. But however, if many of you who may or may not remember, I mentioned this countless times, Miya Yatsuba is one of the few wrestlers that was never trained under Emi Sakura when she was out overseas. As you know, it was in fact Mei Shiruga who trained her. So this puts her in a bit of an advantage, knowing too well that even if Mei Shiruga, Emi Sakura, of course, may able to beat her, she was not one of those wrestlers that she was capable of training. But of course, she has defeated her before. But the real question is, how is different she is now? We have seen Miya, of course, grown so much. I mean, from the very day she debuted all the way to now. Not to mention becoming one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions with Soy, but hopefully one day becoming the Super Agent Champion, which is something she has aimed for in the past. But man, she took the fight really hard, and not to mention Emi Sakura threw everything at her. But in the end, somehow Miya Yatsuba was able to apply the Miya punch onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she picked up the win. And this is a huge upset right there, so you probably can guess it. Now our next match, this is not actually part of the promotion, but this is from Deadlock Pro Wrestling, which of course ChocoPro does have a working relationship. Mei Shiruga, who is the current DPW Women's World Champion, defends it against another Chilean named Sarah Phoenix. Yes, she wears a mask in case anybody's seen her. But yes, it was a good match, not gonna lie. But Mei Shiruga, of course, being a bit of a little slide devil, as I usually call her, tries to find ways to justify her actions to ensure she wins and remains the champion, which she did after she defeated her in a pinfall, and just like that, it was over. Now our next match is for the Asian Dream Tag Team belts. Hidoi Yawada teams up with Sayaka Obihira, or as we call her, Obi. They take on Egtart, consistent of Chiko Shikawa and Hagene Chino, Shino, who are our current champions. And of course, this is one of those moments where, of course, we see how much Hiroya has grown up. We know she has been aiming for these belts before, and she has come up short. But she's teaming with someone who has at least maybe 13, 14, or 15 years of experience that she could follow and learn from. But she's facing against someone like Chi, who is, of course, has more experience there, and not to mention she is very too much energy. I mean, she can outlast her for hours. But you're facing a guy like Hagede, who's a bit of a striker. But in the end, Chi picked up the win by pinning Hiroi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Egg Tart retained the titles. Now our next match, which is our main event, is the Super Asian Championship. As you all know, Chonchiru had to vacate this belt, but he never got it back, and now he demanded this belt to be defended last month, but now he gets the opportunity. And that was something that not last month, I mean back in January. But of course, by decision by General Manager Kizuki, she in fact made it happen. And of course, Chonchiru had to put whatever it needs necessary to get it back. But in the end, Rina Yamashita was able to retain the belt, of course, when she applied Splash Mountain. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, during the post-show, we did see General Manager Kizuki, of course, congratulating the champions that retained the belts. However, of course, that's when things change, where Miya Yatsuba has declared herself as the next challenger for the Super Asian Championship. And, of course, General Manager Kizuki announced that the next show will take place on the 23rd of March in Shinkiba. So obviously that's going to take place as well. However, of course, Soy even mentioned to her tag partner and friend Mia, she would, as long as if she's aiming for that belt, she's aiming overseas, and she issued the challenge for the DPW Women's World Title and Mei Suruga. So I'm going to presume that that belt will probably happen next month as well. No, well, the next month, which is going to later on happen this month. My bad. But however, she even, of course, we did see wrestlers who are for international. Of course, are the Chileans who made their presence known: Sarah Phoenix, Jean Bravo, and Arnico Montana. Of course. Who else? Well, did I miss a match? Yes, I did. I did miss a match. My bad. We did have Jean Bravo, Arnico Montana taking both Chileans. Nope, hold on. No, not my bad. Hold on. I think I might have messed up. Yeah, they did. No, never mind. I think I might have. Never mind. My head's everywhere. But anyway, Chileans. Of course, they were talking about Balanaki from India, Chonchiru from China. Various people. So I thought it was a pretty good post show, and I thought it was pretty fun. So we'll see how things go on the next one. So let's do that right now. Okay, we continue with more with ChocoPro number 506, and this time we're in Ichigaya Square, of course. We had Balin Aki greeting the fans, giving the info of every match, and also informed everyone that Jean Bravo will be making his return back. Well, he'll be leaving Japan and going overseas again to another country, so it's kind of sad, but hopefully we get to see him again. Now, our first match, well, is an exhibition match. As you know, ChocoPro introduced two new girls into the promotion, Chiyu and Rian. And of course, they team up this time to face, of course, a very interesting duo, master and student. We're talking about Emi Sakura and Mei Suruga. Obviously, it's a formidable team. We know that they faced off before, but they're teaming up against the newly team. But of course, they apply their usual antics, I mean, Mei Suruga being who she is. But it was Mei who picked up the win when she pinned Chiyu, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Mei Suruga and Emi Sakura picked up the win. Next up, we have the Chileans, of course, Jean Bravo and Arnico Montana. This time, they take on Shota Kawakami and our current Super Asian champion, Rina Yamashita. Now, obviously, we know that the Chileans would work together very well. But when it comes to Rina, we know that she is the strongest of everyone. And that's exactly what took place. But however, of course, Jean Bravo, in fact, was the one vulnerable the most, giving time for Rina to pick up the pinfall after she applied a lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Rina Yamashita and Shota Kawakami picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have Soy teaming up with Sayaka Obihiro, taking on Chiko Shikawa and Mei Shruga. Now, you can consider this match as a preliminary match due to the fact that Soy has issued the challenge for the DPW Women's World Championship. So you can tell that will help build up momentum before their actual title match. And obviously Mei, she will do whatever it takes to make her suffer, because apparently Soy ended up on a double jackknife combination by both Chi and Mei herself, of course. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Mei and Chi picked up the win. Now, our main event, we have Hiroya Wada taking on, of course, Emi Sakura. Now, obviously, Emi Sakura, we know what she's capable of. She's willing to take out anybody that stood in her way, especially the younger wrestlers who intend to outshine her, which is something we have seen over time. But this time, Emi Sakura picked up the win when she applied a body press, and just like that, it was pretty cool. But one thing that was funny about this match, there was a moment, as you know, if you ever seen Emi Sakura, she actually has her opponents right on the banner of ChocoPro. Well, Hiroya used that as a shield. I don't know how she was able to do it, but it was pretty good. I'd have to say it was a lot of fun. Now, for a Jonkin tournament, well, I'm going to skip ahead to the finals because it became a Chilean showdown between Gene and Arnico. I did not anticipate that. Now, I know Arnico has won the Jonkin tournament before, but this time, instead of going like the usual thing, but they said something like they keep their hands like this, and then when they say the one word, they let go. But it was in fact Arnico with, of course, paper, while Gene was with scissors, and just like that, it was over. And I think this was her Gene's first time winning the Jonkin tournament, so I thought it was pretty nice. Of course, it's sad that they're gonna have to see him go, but of course they are asking him to come back, and of course we probably will see him back. I mean, Harnico is someone we also seen back recently, but we'll see what happens. But right now we're done with Choco Pro. Let's move on with NXT. Okay, NXT. As you all know, we entered a fallout after, of course, Vengeance Day this past Saturday. Now, we opened up with Tatum Paxley, as you know. Many of you, if you remember, I mentioned she's now stands next to Stephanie Vakir as a double champion, carrying both the NXT Women's title and the NXT North American Women's Championship. So that sets it up right there. But of course, Izzy Dane decided to crash on our parade, demanding her title back, in which she did when she decided to attack her. Now, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, as you know, they are still a little bummed out after what happened. I mean, Ethan Page kind of screwed up, messing up Ricky Saints. So that's it. But they will have to deal with Bourne and Joe Hendry at the main event. Now, our next match is a three-way match between Jasper Troy and Eli Knight. Eli Knight and Sean Legacy. Now, I don't know how different this is going to be. Eli Knight did lose in the way that, well, he didn't lose, but he ended up not winning the speed title. But out of nowhere, Keanu Carver attacked Jasper Troy out of nowhere. I don't know what his deal was, but he took him out and put him through the commentary table. And then, of course, Keanu Carver, who has fair issues towards Booker T, just got on his face. And much of the time, we did see Jasper Troy out, but this match left Eli Knight and Sean Legacy continuing on. And of course, Jasper Troy did show up once again. And then once again, we got another predicament where we had a double pinfall by both, of course, Sean Legacy and Eli Knight pinning Jasper Troy. And just like that, 1, 2, 3. So both men won. But we'll get to that. Now, Tatum Paxley, as you know, pissed off with what happened earlier, being attacked by Izzy Dane, was looking for her, and then she ran into Shala Hill. And then she's like, gotta get to her before she goes. And Shala Hill, of course, you said, before she goes, I think I can help you with that. and she had like that sadistic a laugh right in front of him. I don't know exactly what's going on. Some people say they ought to pair them. I mean, it seems like they do have that sadistic look. Now, once again, as you know, Birthright, if that's what they call themselves, Lexis King, Mariah Connor, um, Stax, and Ariana Grace, as you know, they said that, did you call your dad? Yes. So basically, he said that he's not coming alone. We don't know what that meant. Now, we jump into that match. We have Mariah Connor and Lexis King taking on the somewhat reunion between No Quarter Catch Crew, Tavion Heights, and Charlie Dempsey. Things were going well normally until out of nowhere we see Fit Finley and William Regal standing side by side, and he attacked Tavion Heights. And this allowed, of course, for what's his name, to defeat Tavion Heights and win the match. But later, of course, Dempsey looked at his dad like he's telling him, you gotta join them. Like he has to tell him, do the right thing. Of course, that's what he did. Now, the Culling were about to leave until they heard the beep, 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 beep. All cars were going like that. All tires were moved. And of course, Charlotte Hill's like smiling. And Mr. Stone like said, what the hell happened? Look, I don't know which one was in fact the car that belonged to the Culling, so I just removed all of them. So, and of course, he gave him the tire iron, and he's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Oh, God. And I had to say, this is the exact chaos Shawn Michaels was looking for. So apparently, he went up to see what's going on, and he sees the Culling, and the Culling thought it was him, but no, it wasn't me. So basically, they had no idea what just transpired. I thought it was really funny. Now, Tony D'Angelo, as you know, made his return. As you all know, he made his return for two obvious reasons. One is to deal with Dark State, and that's exactly what he did. Mission accomplished at Vengeance Day. But now, the reason the two, he said, is one of the main reasons he came back. It was more like to him saying, I need to bury that part of my past and move on to the next level. And that's exactly what he was going to do. And that level is the NXT title. Now, he did state it, he has no core torn injury, but he is telling him, giving him a warning, he'll be for the belt. So we'll see what happens. Now, Soruka was ready for her match against Lainey Reed until, of course, Lola Vice decided to have a nice conversation with her, saying how she was doing after what happened. And, of course, Soruka congratulated her on her win in the NXT Underground. But, of course, Lola Vice decided to say that she believes that Soruka is the one capable of winning the title at Stand and Deliver. And, of course, Lola Vice made it clear to her that if she does win it, she wants to be the first person to take a crack at her. So I'm sure Soruka will be looking forward to that. Now, we did see, of course, Bourne, Sinclair, and Gray were having a nice conversation until Bourne was asking if he's seen his tag partner. And Ren Sinclair thought he was in a refrigerator, but he didn't show up. And they were talking about their upcoming match, to strategize. But until then, of course, they had to tell Ren Sinclair good luck in her match in the speed title tournament. And then Kendall Gray was eating cake, and she walked away, and the last thing we see is Joe Hetty telling Miles Moore, that cake looked good. So I thought it was really, really funny. Now, Mr. Stone, as you probably know, was having a conversation with, of course, LaFleur, Knight, and Legacy over what just transpired. And then, of course, the Vanity Project. Well, let's just say they're upset that they are not even in the card for Stand and Deliver and all that. And then, of course, Eli Knight and Legacy had some things to say about that, and that's when Mr. Stone said he had a nice idea. So he'll get to that in a bit. Now, let's jump into the speed tournament. We had Ren Sinclair versus Thea Hale. Now, these two women do have some a bit of a, submission technique. I mean, Thea Hale has the Kimura lock, while Ren Sinclair has the final wrench. And I thought it was a pretty good match. And, of course, Ren Sinclair picked up the win. And just like that, Thea Hale had no choice but to tap out. Now, Blake did an interview with, of course, with Blake Monroe. It seems that Blake Monroe has something in mind and she wants to get to Houston, which, of course, is something that she is aiming for. So we'll see where that goes. Now, um, meanwhile, in Mr. Stone's office, he came up with an idea. Now, of course, the bigger picture is the NXT tag team titles that he's been noticing. He's been seeing how much of the tag team division has been raising. So he decided to start a tag team tournament to determine who will be facing Vanity Project at Stand and Deliver. However, they did not like it, and he says, "Don't you guys want it Stand and Deliver?" Yes. Then don't argue with me. So they're like telling him, "This is a bad idea, but don't you want a match?" So this is how we're gonna determine. But of course, OTM was not there, and then they started a bit of a brawl. But later on, we did see Mr. Stone kind of made it clear that because of what happened, OTM is out. And of course, the Vanity Project were happy about it. But, well, we'll see what their leads to that. Now, Jay-Z Jane, of course, is not happy with the whole thing. Oh, did I skip a match? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did skip the match. My bad. Yeah, which match was? Oh, yeah. Laney Reed versus Sol Ruka. Now, of course, many of you saw that match. My bad. Of course, Laney Reed would do what, Jay-Z Jane would do whatever it takes to ensure that Sol Ruka doesn't even make it to Challenger. But of course, Saria was watching this from the back. Obviously, that is something we would definitely see from her. But it took at least a few tries to Sol Ruka to apply the Soul Snatcher, and then when she finally hit it, 1, 2, 3, that's done. And I'm sure that Jay-Z Jane is probably concerned, but I don't think she's gonna be happy with it. And then, of course, during the interview with that, Ren Sinclair has her sights set for the upcoming, of course, Speed title, which, of course, Henley has no desire to lose it. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, the Calling were in fact making their way out until Tatum Paxley decided to attack Izzy Dame. All hell broke loose in the back, but Mr. Stone decided that this thing needs to end sooner or later, so he decided to put both Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame in a steel cage match next week for the NXT the Women's North American title. And of course, this is not the one thing that the Calling expected, but it did. And I'm sure Tatum Paxley likes the idea. Now, our next match, our main event, we have Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. Ethan Page and Ricky Saints versus Miles Bourne and Joe Hendry. Now, obviously, there were some miscues with Page and Saints on certain moments. I thought it was interesting, but however, somehow Ethan Page was able to get everything on track when he put a cutter on Hendry, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So Hendry picked up the win. But I wouldn't be surprised if he makes his play for the NXT Championship. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly what's his plans. So as of right now, we're done with NXT, so let's move on with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin as always with some upcoming events, and let's start with some GCW updates. We have 2 of them so far. As you know, they have a 2-day show in Atlantic City on the 14th and 15th. However, they made announcements for the 15th of March, of course, in Atlantic City. We have a career versus title match. Matt Tremont will take on, of course, Christian Napier, so that's going to happen. Then we have the JCW World Title. Charlie Mason takes on Teriyaki. And then, of course, finally, we have the GCW Tag Team belts. Busta and Brain take on Ruckus and Freeze. So I'm going to presume that Alec Price and Jordan Oliver lost the tag belts. And then, of course, as you know, we had the Las Vegas show known as the Immortal Clusterfuck. They'll take place on the 18th of April. 4 names have been added. We have Kroll, Nate Webb, Santana Jackson, and the Green Phantom. Now, moving on from the upcoming events, as you know, we had the collaboration between Ring of Honor and Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling with the Global Wars Canada that takes place on the 27th of March. They just announced that Billy Starks will be participating on that day. And then finally, as you know, we have the Fantastica Mania that will happen on the 12th of April. They just announced Taiji Ishimori will be participating on the whole thing. Now, on to some developments. This was coming from various places, Fightful Select and BodySlam.net. According to the information, AAA star known as Nino Hamburguesa, or as they say, Kid Hamburger, apparently he was released from his AAA contract. The reason behind that is that apparently he got into what was it? Oh yeah, he actually hit a fan during an indie show, and apparently it was caught on video and it went viral. But it was Undertaker, according to what Body Slam reports, that Undertaker had to tell him that they're going to let him go. So basically, that's what happened. Now, as you know, they cannot tolerate this type of thing. It also will look bad for WWE as well. So I'm going to presume they did the right choice on that. Now, Persephone, as you all know, recently it has a double contract with both AEW and CML. And she had something to say about that, about her contract. So this is what she said. It was something like, I was doing since last year, kind of a collaborations. Appearances in AEW, obviously, CML will send their representatives to AEW for some show like the Forbidden Door. Apparently, the appearance on Collision or whatever, Dynamite, Ring of Honor, so I would get sent as a sort of representative of the women's from CML. But obviously, in that moment, I'm going and I'm kind of collaborating with them. I'm not officially part of the roster or anything. I like to think that those matches led to the offer, because I think every time I went, it was an idea of, I don't know if this is going to be the last time they ask me, or I don't know if this is the last time they're going to send me. So I need to make sure that this thing is a great moment or great match or whatever. I had to do to make sure that I'm not under contract with them, but they're going to remember that I am who I am, even if though I am only here for the moment. They are going to know who I am, and I think those moments led to the offer of the contract. So yes, I mean, it's simple. Like, we don't know. She was in that position where we don't know we will see her again. But yes, we're glad that we're going to see her more often. Coming from Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling, Kaya Toribami actually announced that she will no longer will be using the name anymore. This is what's happening. This was coming from Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling. Last week's Shinkiba event featured a shocking announcement from Tori Kayabami. She said, March 15 Ryogoku KFC Hall match will be my final bout as Kaya Toribami. And from Texas word, she'll be reborn as Hataro Sakura. No further details were she shared about Hitori Sakura, so specifics remain unclear, but the hint points. So it seems that she's no longer going to be called Kaya Toribami. I'm not sure if she's going to remove the mask or whatever. Those details are in fact unclear, so we'll find out more. Now, as you all remember in the last episode on the recent update, of course, I mentioned that the legendary venue, Shinjuku FACE, apparently they'll be closing their doors, and we haven't heard a statement. Well, luckily they have finally put out a statement, so this is what they said. Thank you very much for your continuing support and patronage on Shinjuku FACE. Due to the expiration and the fixed terms building a lease agreement, Shinjuku FACE will close on September 30th, 2026. Since opening in 2005, we have been truly grateful by many people who have used the venue and attended events. Shinjuku FACE had two faces, a stage and a ring. We take pride in having been a rare entertainment facility in the world. Only the change is the expression of every performance. It is deeply regrettable that such venue will be bring down the curtain, and for us as well, this will bring great sense of loss. Until our final day of operation, all of our staff will continue to give utmost effort, and we sincerely hope we will enjoy every event held in Shinjuku FACE until the very end. We are truly hope that someday, somewhere, we will have the opportunity to meet you all again. We express our deepest gratitude for your support over the years and kindly ask for your continued support until our final day. The Humux Entertainment Company. So yeah, so it's sad that that they're closing the doors, and I'm sure many fans are gonna be bored, be sad. I mean, they did have some great events there. I mean, many promotions have used their venue. Um, I mean, I've seen Stardom, I've seen All Japan, Noah, a few others, but yes, that's what it was. Now, Shane Strickland went on to the on this podcast about Baller Alert TV, mentioning about how AEW pays way much better than WWE. Let's see what she says. AEW pays far more, cause it's guaranteed. Tony treats the roster like athletes. You know, there are players, coaches, the organization. There's a system, coaches. He's a player booker. He's in tune with the talent and his roster, and where to put those guys. So me and him got very, very, very well because he knows my strength. Tony knows where I belong. He knows how to utilize all his players in the right way. So therefore, he knows how to play them to and motivate them to a certain way. We've only we're only in a seventh year of the company's which very small window, short time, a wrestling promotion has a big as we are. Where we did 80,000 seats in Wembley Stadium and we filled it. So yeah, so that's what he said, and he also mentioned about Buddy Matthews. He said that he has a lot to offer. We're yet to hear from him. We know the last thing heard, he said he hasn't felt anything with his foot that caused him his ankle injury, that sort of thing. Now, as you know, we are continuing with more of the Cinderella tournament. Rian, as you know, she has now calling herself the Kozen Killer, which means she is the cosmic angel killer. If you guys don't know, I didn't even notice. She defeated both, of course, Natsupoi and Yuna Mizumori. And this is what she said recently. Tomorrow's day. Next up is Aya Sakura. Take down Sakura and become the Kozen Killer. And keep charging straight to the championship. Win it all and claim that prize for sure. Yeah, so basically she's going to face another cosmic angel, and that is, of course, Aya Sakura. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll see. So right about now we're done. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, well, as you know, we have AEW Dynamite as we head to, of course, Revolution. A lot of things will be taking place. We also got WWE Evolve. We'll be entering the fallout from Secession a week before. So we'll see how things will play out in that. Now, I have messed up once again with New Japan, continuing with the New Japan Cup. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see the Stardom Cinderella tournament, which is going to happen soon. So we'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, we'll end things here and move forward. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I'm husband all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.